Here's how you're going to highlight for a round face. I always say the brightest shade that you should use should only be about 2 or 3 shades brighter than your original skin tone. And if you are going any brighter, that needs to be the first shade that you lay down. If you put the really, really bright one on top, it's going to give you flashback, and you don't want any flashback, babe. So you're going to go in with the brightest one first. I'm using the shade Light Peach from e.l.f. This concealer does dry down pretty quickly, so we're going to go in and blend it right away. I'm just tapping it out with a dry powder puff, and I'm also keeping it really nice and tight under the eye and dragging it right up to the temple of the face. Also, I'm using very light pressure to tap this out. Y'all don't want to drag this product or like blend it out too hard. You want to use very light pressure and just tap, tap, tap. And also make sure it's a little bit dry before you start to blend it. Then we're just gonna go in and I'm gonna tap it out. I'm also keeping this right above the cheek. As you can see, like my cheek starts like right here. My high cheekbone is about right there. I'm keeping it right there and tapping it out to the temple of the forehead. As you can see, it's nice and bright, but that is not where you want to stop. So after we blend out the first and the brightest shade, we're gonna go in with our second to darkest shade. This is more like my skin tone. It's about 1 or 2 shades lighter than my skin tone in the shade Medium Peach. And we're gonna apply this right on top. And what this does is balance out that brightness, but the brightness still shines through. That's why I love a good full coverage foundation or concealer, because you're gonna be able to see this come through and peek through the darker shades, okay? So this kind of turns down the brightness, but it also contrasts it, so it makes it look more natural. Also, I get a lot of questions about like color correcting, like should you color correct before you do this? Honestly, I don't color correct myself because I don't have like any darkness under the eye. Sometimes I'll go and color correct if I feel like I'm going for a more natural, not as bright look. But if I'm going super bright like this, I never color correct because my concealers color correct for me. They are in my undertone, so they kind of do all of that in one. After it's nice and blended out, I go back in with the foundation brush that I use and just tap out the edges so that you blend the highlight and foundation together and they're not separated. You want everything to be cohesive and blended together. So I'm just tapping around the edges. Makes it look very, you know, put together compared to this side. Now we're going to set everything. Go check out this tutorial to see how I got the full look. After you complete your makeup, it should look a lot like this. And I do have a tutorial up on this full look, so make sure you go watch.